Hello and welcome to the Continuity Report for October 12th, 2024. It's Season 1, Episode 40. And I am Mayor Watt, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we're going to talk about a mysterious Nolan movie, Voltron, a movie made in Grand Theft Auto, Daniel Craig's James Bond, and The Night Agent Renewed. That and a little bit more. Everything's powered by ohmtown.com, so go over there and become a citizen, but don't forget to like and subscribe over on YouTube. We've got 6 weekly podcasts and 1 daily podcast, the Non Sequitur News Show. It helps out tremendously to like us and to leave comments over on YouTube. Download the podcast, leave a review there. Any 5-star reviews are going to get you a mention here on the show, and you'll live in infamy as I sing your praises. All right. Well, anyway. Right out of the gate, if you want today's show notes, you hit !TCR, the Continuity Report, over on Twitch. But if you are on YouTube or downloading the podcast, it'll be in the show notes after the show, maybe tomorrow morning. That said, let's get into today's articles. The very first one is it's in Warcrafters, and it's about Christopher Nolan's mysterious next movie, reportedly already has a release date. But first, the sentient AI from the future has something to say.
Good evening, hometown citizens, and welcome to Warcrafters.
No pressure. So, coming off a $1 billion box office hit about the Manhattan Project and Cosmic Regret, Oppenheimer, everyone's wondering what director Christopher Nolan's next movie will be. Details are scarce, though. In fact, all anyone seems to know is that it's coming out in 2026 and might star Matt Damon.
Do you think it'll be another backwards movie?
Oh my goodness. Do you think it's going to be Tenet?
Yeah, but I couldn't think of a spin on that name, so I was going to suggest what the name was. Tenet, and it's backwards.
Yeah. You know, what that stems from, though, is hold on. There's an actual thing. Hold on a second. It's a Roman satyr square. That's what it's called. And this is what it looks like. I'll show you. Right there. See, so it says Tenet, and Rhodus, Sator, right? And Arapo, Opera, right? But they call it a satyr square, and that's where Tenet comes from. Pretty fascinating, huh?
And also the main antagonist name is Satyr.
Yeah. So I think that was the inspiration. So listen to me, folks. I come up with these ideas all the time for NaNoWriMo. I'm not the author, though. But stuff like that, I see it and I come up with an idea, and I even come up with a catch. What I can't do is dedicate all of that time to actually writing it. It would take me too long. Because I've started probably 6 different books and can't complete anything. And then I just ditch it and move on. Anyway, Matt Damon seemingly in talks to star in the 2026 summer blockbuster that they're calling a blockbuster 2 years before the summer has even hit.
Hey, I mean, it's all about the marketing, right?
Ethan Gatch over at Kotaku.com put the article together. Yep, I mean, if Taylor Swift's glitter freckles can land 2,500%, if not more at this point, increase in sales of, what are they called? Phasits? Which
yes,
just doesn't
that
sound,
is the brand.
Doesn't sound good. Anyway, 2026, Oppenheimer 2. Is it Tenet? Is it Satyr?
Satyr.
Is it Rhodus?
Satyr Rhodus.
So yeah, that information comes from Deadline, which reports that Nolan plans for an IMAX release on July 17th, 2026, with the Good Will Hunting and Bourne Identity star currently in talks to be the movie's lead. Damon had a cameo in Interstellar and played a much larger role as General Leslie R. Groves, in charge of overseeing the top secret creation of the atom bomb in last year's Oppenheimer. I guess I should watch it, but I know how it ends. I'd rather see Barbieheimer.
I don't know that it has a real happy ending to it.
You know, Barbie had a pretty heavy point in it where you go...
That is true, which is why
God.
It might have been well paired with Oppenheimer. They seemed on the surface kind of opposites.
Like, meh. But I know that there's... Never mind. There's some scenes. Anyway, so what subjects might Nolan tackle next? He's already done comic book adaptations, the Batman trilogy, a sci-fi action with Interstellar, Tenet, Inception, period pieces, both Oppenheimer, which doesn't seem period piece. Doesn't period piece smack of like 1800s?
Victorian era or something? Yes. It has to involve ridiculous costumes and everything, or attire.
These are biopic kind of things, or biopic. How do they pronounce that? Is it biopic or biopic?
I don't know.
Anyway, maybe I'm myopic.
I only scan the words, so that doesn't have the pronunciation.
Insomnia.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I'm going to resolve this once and for all.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. So Insomnia and Memento tick the thriller box. Does Prestige count as fantasy? Yeah, it certainly included magic. Maybe Nolan's next movie will just be low-key, slice-of-life tale, hardcore comedy. How about that? Nolan, step up to the plate and remake Police Academy, all 12 of the movies of Police Academy, which it could never be made today. I'm sorry. Wouldn't that be amazing if he did that?
It would. So I think it's biopic.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought too. It's a biopic because it's a biography picture. It's a
portmanteau. Yes.
Yeah.
It says that it is. So.
Yeah, but people still pronounce GIF. Really?
Yeah. Well.
Is it
There's no accounting for that.
It's not a giraffic interchange format. Anyway, moving on. Henry Cavill to star in Voltron as Amazon MGM is springing to life a bygone age of Voltron with Henry Cavill to star in it. It's a live action Voltron.
Now, who is the target audience on this? Is this people that are now adults that may have seen this as kids?
On the other side of the midlife crisis era child, yeah. So Henry Cavill is set to star in the live-action Voltron film for MGM Amazon Studios, or Amazon MGM Studios. Ross and Marshall Thurber is directing the movie from a script that he wrote with Ellen Shanman. Thurber most recently wrote and directed Netflix's 2021 action flick Red Notice, starring Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who doesn't like being called The Rock anymore.
I did not know that. Is that passe?
It's just not him, man. It's just not him. So Katzy Steven, Steven, I don't know. I think he said that he didn't like being called The Rock anymore. He's trying to kick that off, kind of like what Emma Watson now wants to be known as Emily.
Oh, right. Which is really ridiculous since that is actually her real name.
What, Emily?
Yes.
Yeah, I know, it's a shocker, right? But who goes through their entire life and then suddenly says, well, that's not true. You know what? If you identify as Emily and not Emma, because Emily is your real name, but Emma was the one that everybody said,
and that was your stage name. Well, no, she had to take it, I think, because Emily may have been already taken in the SAG.
You can only have a oneer
directories or something.
Yeah, you can't have duplicates, so you had to go by your middle name if you wanted. And nobody goes by the 3 names. Not unless you're on a wanted list or something.
There's like a couple of people I've seen in Hollywood do that, but I think it's when they have pretty common names.
Yeah. And it actually flows really well. So I don't know. Live action. Henry Cavill. He bugs me. There's something about him.
That's not who I would think would be in it, but he seems to be cast in a lot of things, so.
Yeah, when you want somebody that, is kind of ruggedly handsome and kind of...
It reminded me of the quote from Castle.
Ruggedly handsome? Yeah. That's stuck in my head for some reason. I really am ruggedly handsome. Anyway, Ross and Marshall Thurber. Let's see. Plot details are being kept tightly under wraps at this time. Producers include Todd Lieberman via Hidden Pictures, Bob Koppler, Thurber, Hobie Films, David Hoberman. There's more to this article, but man, there really isn't much. If you've never heard of Voltron, it is a series back when I was a kid, Japanese anime television series. Toei Animation has spawned several American series, including Netflix's 8-season Voltron Legendary Defender, which I haven't seen. I will have to go and watch it. Cavill most recently made a cameo appearance as the Wolverine variant, Cavalrine, in the Marvel summer blockbuster Deadpool and Wolverine. He's going to be Highlander reboot in the Gray for Lionsgate. He's going to executive produce and probably be in Warhammer 40,000 franchise across Amazon MGM Studios Productions.
You know what I would like for Hollywood to do is, I don't know, mix up the casting a bit.
Hey, man.
Let's not put the same people in every single movie.
Cavill pretty much is the face of Warhammer. He's this diehard, it's in his blood kind of, but there's something about him that bugs me. I'm waiting for the moment that something is shed and everybody goes, oh no, oh. But I just can't, I don't know. I dig everything that he's in, but for crying out loud, man, there's just something just niggling at me, just really getting in there. Just, like something when it's stuck in your teeth, like between your gums, you're just jammed up in there. Anyway, it was great. Argyle was actually a lot of fun. I really liked Argyle. And
it was goofy, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, you turn your brain off and watch it. I want to watch Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I liked the trailers and little snippets that I've seen. So again, everything that he's in, I dig. It's just, I don't know, there's something there. But Voltron, Legendary Defender, Voltron in general, pilots a giant super robot, but it isn't a single super robot. It actually transforms from multiple.
I forgot, was Voltron around before Transformers?
Around the same time, actually. The original Transformers cartoons in America. Yeah, they were at the same time, if I remember correctly. But so let me just tell you a little bit. Oh, no. How much time do we have? Yeah, I guess we can. So, Voltron actually had, let's see, depending on which one you're looking at, it was basically made up of these little lion robots that would assemble into a single bigger one, and it was really cool. 5 robots. Where is it? They don't actually show it. They don't actually talk about it even on the wiki. Anyway, it's a lot of fun, and I'm gonna have to go back and actually check it all out, because they would the robot would actually put the hands together and then draw out a sword. It was really cool.
That is cool.
Big energy sword. All right, let's keep moving though. The next article is over on Reality Hacker. A movie filmed entirely in Grand Theft Auto Online is coming to theaters. And to see it or not to see it.
This is intriguing.
Yeah. Okay, so sentient AI, you may not realize this, but in Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto Online, there is a massive, I mean massive, role-playing contingent. People take on the persona of the character and live
I
that
hope
life.
not in the real life, given what happens in the game.
No, they try to step away from it. I'm sure that there are some people that go a little bit too deep or fly too close to the sun kind of a thing. So Carly Volocci over at digitaltrends.com put this article together, and it says, you were probably bored during COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, but were you? Film an entire documentary in Grand Theft Auto Online board. Grand Theft Hamlet is just that sort of project. And after winning the documentary feature jury award at South by Southwest this year, it's going to get a theatrical and streaming release. Because you customize your character. It's basically Sims, but you are first person.
That's what it reminded me of when you were describing that.
Pretty wild, huh? So it's actually being reported by the Hollywood Reporter and then repurposed here at Digital Trends. And then we're talking about it. Independent and art house streaming service Mubi, which, never mind, has acquired the rights to distribute Grand Theft Hamlet, a documentary that follows two actors who want to stage a production of William Shakespeare's Hamlet in GTA Online's world. If the clip below is any indication, they run into some issues, as is expected for a game where provoking violence against others is part of the fun. Okay, I'm not going to watch the trailer. I'm going to encourage viewers of this show to go and watch it.
I do like the name of it. I think that's funny.
Grand Theft Hamlet. I love it. Let's just keep on moving. Sounds good? I'm not even going to get into the rest of this because
I'm not sure you want to play any trailers in this show, depending on what's in there.
Yeah, there's more. And for those in the podcast, it shows somebody that's looks like an anemic Hulk flying horizontally through a scene with a pistol. They're all green, the person flying horizontally through the scene. A couple people are standing on top of a stretched limousine. One person has a neon orange pistol of some kind. And then I don't know who this is. I was going to say P. Diddy, but I think that's too soon. Let's move on. The next article is over here in the continuity report. Daniel Craig's $616 million James Bond. $616 million. James Bond was so accurate that even a spy expert lifted characters' dialogue in real life.
Okay, now I've not heard of this direction.
It's like the other way around, right? Le Carré is sitting there going, wait, I can do that?
Oh, that's a good idea.
So, despite the franchise being known for more outlandish action, Spy Expert is looking back on Casino Royale and celebrating how authentic the movie is. The 2006 film, directed by Martin Campbell and based on Ian Fleming's novel of the same name, served as a reboot of the iconic spy franchise, with Daniel Craig taking on the role as a freshly promoted 00 agent. 00 is licensed to kill. Tasked with bringing down a terrorist financier. Grossing over $616 million and scoring rave reviews, the movie's success led to 4 further Bond movies with Craig leading the cast. The article is over at ScreenRant.com, and Alexis Zakaria put this article together. So in the video posted on Insider, former intelligence officer Naveed Jamali looked back on Craig's performance in Casino Royale, how accurate it was to real life. Jamali begins his analysis in the 2006 Bond movie by explaining how one of the key things for working undercover is to build a caricature that is based on physical things. Interesting. So it says, so when you're working, this is a quote from the analyst, I guess, Naveed Jamali.
Yeah, the intelligence officer.
Yeah. So, quote, as when you're working undercover, your job is to build a caricature, and part of the caricature is going to be based on physical things. What do you wear? Do you wear a tux versus jeans? Do you drive an F-150 pickup truck, or do you drive a Corvette or an Aston Martin? In my case, working undercover, the GRU thought I was a young person who was interested in money, so being able to show something flashy and being able to show that it was aligned with my motivation to spy and sort of build this character that I played essentially in front of the Russians. How this person can talk about this and be alive is in public.
Well, and also allowed to make some of these statements.
Like, why wouldn't somebody, like, here's an umbrella jab kind of thing, you know? I mean, do they not rise to that level of offense?
We don't know how integrated they were, right? Or how, I mean, it'd be one thing if they were undercover in the
right?
inner circle of the president versus somebody 15 layers removed or something.
Yeah. So Jamali went on to recall how he literally lifted dialogue from movies like Casino Royale. How long was he actually? Does it say how long he was a former intelligence officer?
Maybe not long if he's making these statements.
That's
like maybe he was only in for a short time is what I'm trying to say.
It's very bold, right? I mean, it kind of ballsy to sit there and drop slights about Russia. Anyway, so what it means for espionage accuracy, Casino Royale's grounded approach was more than just a fresh Bond take. Jamali's comments emphasize how closely Casino Royale adhered to real-life intelligence work. I'm really curious if other officers, analysts, actual agents are reading this going, guys, it's all bullshit.
Well, right. Are they like amateur to the spy, or did they go, yeah, we did the same?
Yeah. Pretty fascinating, right? But I don't know who the person is, so I'm not making the call. I'm just saying I wonder if anybody else is sitting there going, eh. So the adoption of Bond's dialogue, and look, I trust but verify, and I haven't verified anything, and I just don't take anybody's word for it at face value. You know, I go, okay, well, that's what they said, but I'm going to go look elsewhere. Just like I suspect other people are doing that when I sit there and make comments. You know, I respect that because I would rather you trust, verify, and then come back and go, you were right. You know, 3 years later, you verified it and you came back and said, you were right 3 years ago. Anyway, the adoption of Bond's dialogue into training demonstrates that the film didn't merely entertain audiences, but also provided an accurate depiction of the psychological elements involved in espionage, which, look, if you're lifting stuff from Casino Royale and the spy hasn't seen Casino Royale, this could compromise you because you're saying shit from Casino Royale.
Well, that's true. I mean, what if the person that you're integrated with is like, that's exactly like they love the movie and they're quoting the next line back to you kind of thing.
Did you? Yeah. Did you just frickin' say something from Casino Royale?
Or like maybe you're not that savvy, but you're a Bond fan. So then you're like, oh, I know how this scene plays out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Bond gets his ass kicked.
A motorcycle's gonna come through or whatever.
Bond gets his ass kicked right about here, and you just whisper that to you. Hey, you know, if you keep up with this line of discussion, you're gonna get your ass kicked. It's in the script, man. By focusing on authenticity, which is weird because authenticity is, you know, you don't pull from a movie into real life and call it authentic,
right? You don't want to disclose actual methods and everything.
You just slip up and go, hey, did you know that I made $616 million in the Casino Royale? Oh, shit. I've said too much. That's pretty funny. Anyway, glamorized world of espionage, more relatable and authentic for those working in those environments. But look, it's true. There are people that believe that the world of espionage is glamorous and they have aspirations to become that.
Well, and the whole James Bond character has perpetuated that, I think. But I do agree, like the Casino Royale movie went away from that.
Right. Yeah, it showed it a little bit more grittier and a little bit more honest. Yeah, I don't know. The whole idea, by the way, if you are interested in being a clandestine operative, don't go looking to be a clandestine operative. If they're interested in you, they will find you because you actually excel in everything else. And they think that you have the propensity to be a clandestine operative.
Yeah, you're not probably signing up on your own. They're recruiting you.
Yeah, you're like showing up at the CIA office going, I want to be a clandestine operative. Let me just save you a little bit of pain and suffering there. You'll end up on a watch list before you end up as a clandestine operative. Anyway, let's move on. Last article for tonight's continuity report is The Night Agent has been renewed for season 3 at Netflix months before season 2's debut.
I always think this is interesting, and I think we just saw this for Slow Horses too, right? It was renewed, I think, for season 5, but they haven't even started season 4.
Yeah, and there was another article that was submitted for Slow Horses tonight, but I decided to go a different route because we've actually talked, I think, sometime this last week about Slow Horses. So Netflix has given an early season 3 renewal to its hit actioner, The Night Agent, in advance of the show's second season return in winter 2025. But I thought that there's somebody going to be missing. Didn't they swap somebody out? I thought that the female lead didn't want to be in this.
Well, that's going to be kind of significant because although I don't know that you would have to have the female lead, like if you had the agent swapped out, like that would be a problem because that's the whole story is focused around them. But the female could be somebody else that comes into contact with the agent, I could see, or another male.
Yeah, so returning cast members include Lucianne Buchanan, Fola Evans, Akingbola, right? And D.B. Woodside, new characters played by actors. I swear that there's going to be somebody new. But maybe I guess everybody is staying. Amanda Warren will be joining the cast as Catherine. So, I don't know. I guess maybe they're all the same. Yeah, I don't know. I'll do some more due diligence, but I just wanted to talk about Night Agent being renewed for season 3 at Netflix months before the season 2 even kicks off, because season 1 was so well received. See, but I love this. I really liked The Night Agent. It was a slow boil, and then you would kind of go, holy crap, they actually spun that in a way that I wasn't expecting. So Netflix has given early season 3 renewal to its hit actioner, The Night Agent, in advance of the show's second season return in winter. And the series from Sony Pictures Television is set to begin production unit in Istanbul at the end of the year and will turn its attention back to the original story, I suppose. Michael Schneider over at Variety.com put this article together. And the guy comes across as kind of unsuspecting, even as an agent. You know, you're like, well, he doesn't seem like superhero type.
Correct. Which is kind of better because I feel like sometimes, to use a term from the previous article, like the characters are almost caricatures and it's so over the top, but that's not the case in this one.
He just seems unassuming. I need to move that cursor right there because it makes it look like I have a little point on my head.
It does. It was blending in for a bit.
Yeah. So the streamer announced the additional pickup while sharing first look images of The Night Agent Season 2. Gabrielle Basso stars in the series, which comes from creator Sean Ryan from The Shield and is based on a novel by Matthew Quirk. Helped save the U.S. president's life, earning him a chance to become a night agent. Per Netflix's logline in Season 2, working in the secretive organization of Night Action will propel Peter into a world where danger is everywhere and trust is in short supply. So I guess, unless they really drag the female protagonist from the first season into the second season for whatever purpose, it's not needed because he's the real
Correct. And although I know the story in season 1 was tied to the female protagonist, but it wouldn't have existed without the agent.
Right. Yeah. And it was a really neat story that we just barely got the tip of the iceberg about the world building that I guess the Night Agent has for potential. And I don't know how many books are in this, if it's just one or if it's a series, but
I can't remember. I know that it is based on a book, but
I'm really surprised you haven't read this series, honestly. So Ryan is executive producer and showrunner through the Mid-Kid Productions. Other EPs for season 2 include several people. No need to really go into any of that stuff. Oh, interesting. That's funny. For those who don't get to interact with the sentient AI like I do, the sentient AI...
There may be a copy of that book in Hometown.
Funny. So according to Netflix, The Night Agent Season 1 was its most watched series in 2023 by views, and its service's 7th most popular series by all-time watch. 98.2 million views in its first 91 days.
Only one book, though.
Oh, God. So either it is information dense and they're pulling 3
or hopefully
seasons.
They're at least pairing up with the book's author.
Oh, God. So, yeah, we're going to see... I hope that we don't see a herky-jerky mess of a screenplay, because if it doesn't have continuity consistent with the world building within the book, and if this is gonna scream, you need to make a second and third and fourth, you need to turn it into a series. If there isn't a series in there and it has consistency, oh God, it's game over. But hey, if Castle can make real world print books based off of the show, and it has internal consistency.
True, right? That went in the other direction.
Yep, yeah. Just like the Secret Agent. All right. Well, that's it, folks. Looking forward to The Night Agent. Looking forward to watching Grand Theft Hamlet. Right? That's what it was called, right?
That's right.
Yeah, Grand Theft Hamlet. Looking forward to anything Voltron. I loved that. It was a cartoon to me, not anime. And looking forward to anything from Christopher Nolan. Although Tenet, I mean, I loved it. It was a fun watch, but I don't know. I don't want highbrow. I want slapstick, stupid comedy out of Nolan.
Tenet was brilliantly filmed.
I think you threw an extra N in there, not tenant. Like they're renting. Tenet. There you go.
Yes.
I swear I heard a tenant, like they're
renting
a condo in New York. Anyway, you know what the Night Agent does? Says night night, and when we open our eyes, we're back at the continuity report, and Mayor Watt's saying adios, and the sentient AI is saying
good night, hometown citizens. Buenas noches. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Continuity Report, but come back tomorrow for non sequitur news. I almost said Hometown Daily, and some more weekly episodes.
See ya later, everybody. Bye-bye. I dig it when you get down verbally.